Hey, how's it going? I'm Dan Fradenburgh, and this is Chess with Investors. Today, I'm joined with Mike. And Mike, how you doing today?
Very good. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I saw your chess.com profile, so it's good to have some people with a lot of experience. But while we're waiting for this match to start, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. I live in Boston. Do so background in tech. So used to kind of be a developer. Started a couple of companies, and then didn't take off exactly. So I slowly, I thought I'd kind of become the next Mark Zuckerberg or whatnot, but eventually got into real estate. So started investing in sort of initially short-term rental. So in the Boston area on the Cape. Started investing, kind of had a few properties there, started, a lot of cash flow and built up that business. And then slowly, when that stopped scaling, I got into multifamily, built up a pretty substantial portfolio. So it's 220 units without equity investors here in the Northeast. And so it's me and my wife and a few employees. And so currently kind of focusing on running that business and scaling. So we're now focused on buying bigger assets, going after commercial assets, and yeah, so kind of in the real estate world. Yeah, and I play chess and use a lot of techniques from chess and poker, kind of any way that you can kind of get a strategy that gives you an advantage to kind of beat the odds. So. Yeah, I love the game, both chess and real estate, and yeah, excited to be here.
Oh,
Where
there
are
it
you from?
is.
All right, you there?
10 rated guy. Yep, here it comes. All right, and I get to be white. This will be exciting stuff. That's good.
All right,
All right, so excellent.
fantastic.
So I also went through your profile on LinkedIn, and I saw that you went to Harvard. So
Yeah,
so so how'd that work out for you?
good. Yeah, so I studied computer science. I was yeah back in I went to Northeastern undergrad, and then I did a computer science master's at Harvard. And so yeah, for me, like it was a big part of my life in terms of um, being in the tech world. And so my perception of what I wanted to do, I felt that tech was kind of like the way to get ahead. And so, I went to conferences. I was trying to, start companies. I was part of an incubator. Tried to get into Y Combinator in California. Didn't get into that one. Got into another one in Austin, Texas. So I did a startup around 2010, and but it just kind of didn't take off. So I tried a couple of companies, but basically that was my whole world. Like I was very passionate. Like I really believed that kind of, you can build things and so forth. But I had I think I just had a gut feeling that I wasn't going to be able to sustain that level of intensity with tech, right? So kind of technology changes very rapidly, and so unless you're able to uh, either you want to go into high management, or you have some kind of a competitive advantage, or whatnot. Like it's very difficult to stay ahead in that world unless you kind of having a 9 to 5 job. And so now um, with AI and all the things that are coming down the pike, I think that I made the right decision. I think that a lot of people are going to struggle with staying ahead. A lot of jobs are going to get you know taken over by AI and so forth. And so for me, kind of building my own business and have an agency was kind of a big, uh, a very big part of my life, a very big motivator. And I came here at 9 years old from Ukraine as an immigrant, single mom. My dad passed away when I was young, and so it was really kind of use pain as fuel, right? So I was really uh, driven and motivated by kind of getting ahead and having agency. Yeah, but at that time, that's not how I saw the world. And so tech and Harvard and the jobs that I had and the startups that I started was a very big. I really felt like that was my world. I was very passionate about it. Yeah, yeah.
It's so I got a question for you. I have this thing where when I find out that somebody's from Ukraine, I automatically like them. Is that a political statement?
Well, it could
It's
be. I
not
mean,
not.
I think. when I came here, when I was in Ukraine, so I was 9 years old, so that was still the Soviet Union, right? So I was like eight when I moved. I turned nine right away, right? So that was part of the Soviet Union, and so at the time, for me now, like what's going on is just completely crazy because it was all one country, and but I mean, you could argue that, especially now, there's kind of a reputation. So, Ukraine, not to get political, but obviously, what's going on, it's a very difficult situation, and I think that a lot of people from Ukraine that are kind of, they're in a predicament, right? And so they're hardworking people. They are, try to make it for themselves. So as migrants, as you know, refugees. And so I think that perception is valid. With that said, obviously, not everybody from 40 million people is going to be a good person or a bad person, right? But yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I'll take the, I won't say no to being liked. Um, which is
Yeah, yeah.
which is actually funny. That actually reminds me of an interesting, just a segue about being liked. There's a book that I read recently where there was an exercise as part of the book. It was kind of like to figure out your mission, all this kind of stuff. And part of the exercise was to write your own eulogy. And so I wrote my own eulogy. And in that exercise, um, I learned that kind of you figure out through that exercise that, like what matters in life and what your kids are going to think about you, what kind of a father you were, what kind of a husband you were, all those kinds of things. And so one interesting thing there was that I kind of thought that even in death, you still care about what other people think, right? That was kind of like an interesting, unintended takeaway from that exercise, which, there was more to it than that, but I just kind of about being liked or caring about what other people think that if you do that exercise, you might have an interesting takeaway there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that is interesting to think of it. It sounds like you had more to say though, and I interrupted. So
No, 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 that was it. Yeah, yeah.
okay, yeah, it's I had like it's kind of tough to really call this similar, but
Yeah.
it's not completely dissimilar. Back in 2020, I saw Mark Cuban did a post for one of the first, what do you want to call it? Commercially available deep fake services.
Yep.
It was the same one that did the David Beckham's deep fake,
Yep.
and so he was speaking. You could speak 30 different languages, and so I imagine you speak a couple languages at least as well. So you know how much effort goes into that, and
Yep.
why it kind of bugged me a little bit. I'm like, I had to work this hard. Mandarin's my second language. I've spoken it every single day for 20 plus years,
Interesting.
and
Okay.
and
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
funny.
and this thing comes right out of the box, and it was kind of interesting because just like writing your own eulogy,
Yep.
it really does get you in one of those situations where it's actually kind of a form of immortality when when you have one of these things, because you can speak from beyond the grave.
Yep.
And like, you mentioned like where tech is going, like I'm also I also got into real estate through tech. I'm a full stack developer, and PHP, jQuery, all that kind of stuff. It came
Love
to
it. Yep.
CRM space, so I
Yep.
worked for
That's my past
web.com.
world.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious whenever you meet people who are like that. But yeah. So I remember a few years after, like when ChatGPT and Gemini and all of those started becoming a thing,
Yeah.
I got to thinking, it's like, okay, well, they have all these things, like all these different AIs and all this magical stuff that they can do. What can
Right.
I do that they can't do or they won't do? So I taught my AI avatar to rap and smoke weed,
Okay.
which,
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it did Give Me Some Mo by Busta Rhymes. So
Yep.
that was pretty fun, just having fun with that. But yeah, it's really crazy the direction that all this stuff goes in, and I do think that like if you are thinking about the legacy you're leaving for your children, those sorts of things, you do have to realize that like background, but my mom passed away back, that was like 17 years ago,
Yep.
and one of the biggest things that jumped out to me was that I didn't really I didn't have a way to get a bunch of my questions answered.
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
Um,
that's an interesting topic. Um,
yeah,
what
it's a real
have
tough
you?
one. Hmm.
Yeah. So my dad passed away when I was young. My mom is thankfully alive, and we're pretty close. Like we do a lot of stuff together. So she's very a huge part of my life in terms of like kids and so forth. But we don't necessarily see everything eye to eye and so forth, which is probably normal. But Uh, I've been thinking about, I saw there was like an ad for a tool for capturing, asking questions to your parents, right? And so you can kind of like learn about their past and all this kind of stuff. Learn about, their values, what they aspired to be when they were younger. And so I think that's an interesting thing to do and kind of like prioritize before it's too late. And so I've actually brought up that conversation with my mom and my wife's parents, and it's interesting. Some people get excited about it because I think it gives them a little bit of purpose, a little bit of meaning, and then some people are kind of like put off by it actually because it's implying something, which is that their days are limited, right? But yeah, I do think that's interesting and important, and there's definitely a lot of value that you don't realize until it's too late, right? Like you take it for granted and then it's too late, right? So yeah, that's something that I've put a little bit of emphasis on lately, and hopefully I'll it won't just be talk. I'll actually carry it out and follow through. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean it's yeah, I think there's you kind of appreciate some of that wisdom as you get older. Like I think right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
my kids could care less about my opinions and yet like I'd like to believe that I have valuable things to offer them. They'll probably only appreciate many years down the line, and I'm sure that our parents would have felt or do feel the same way.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
it's weird when you start thinking, that level, and it's kind of interesting because I know I also interviewed. I got another series that's called the Dream Job series,
Okay.
and the
Love it.
recurring theme of that it was. It's called Figure It Out because it's for people who are trying to figure things out, including their own life, and one of them is that, like, especially for me, like I was basically I was almost 40 when I started
Yeah.
doing my first interviews.
Yeah.
And a part of it is to give back a little bit. I found personally that the most shocking thing about when things financially started going really well for me was that there are so few people that you can actually even help at a time.
Yeah.
It's like you'd think that like you get to like a decent level of income, and like if you got another, like your in-laws or something like that was my situation. I wanted to help them, but I realized, oh smack, I can literally help like one of them, and that's
Right.
it. you know
Right. So that was your purpose for starting the Dream
yeah.
Jobs
Yeah,
podcast?
yeah, exactly. And the
Okay.
people I met were amazing, but onto the immortality idea, and that whole type of thinking. I also met a guy. His invention is called Portal,
Okay.
and he worked on the Holocaust Museum. And
Yep.
one of the things that he set up were holograms of Holocaust survivors, and he set up an AI to ask, so you could ask certain questions, and if it fit one of the canned answers, the hologram of the person in 3D would tell you, oh well, this is what it was like, this is my experience, and blah 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 blah. And that level of posterity is really really something. I think. Are you familiar with anything like that?
I'm not actually. I'm not, but it's very interesting. I'm not.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
you're playing well, actually. You're challenging. Let's see, our ratings are. Well, my rating here is low, but that's because I don't play this. So you know you're doing well. I gotta I gotta pick it up so I don't. I gotta think this through a little bit. But
Well, that's the handy thing about the distraction, right? Is like playing
yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
yeah.
time is so difficult.
You
But
have some practice here. You have a home field advantage. It's okay.
yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I also have white as well. But
No, no, no. White, black. It's. Do your kids play chess?
yes, that's the reason why I started taking it so seriously.
Yeah, yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
um, this
Love
is
it. Yeah, my kids are 5 and 8, and they're taking classes, and they have some friends that they play with, and yeah, I think that chess. You know, when I was a kid, I played in tournaments, and you know, coming from Eastern Europe, I think chess is kind of a an important. You know, it's a big kind of like math or sciences, but I do find that it's subtle, but I think chess is a pretty good. Um, Indicator. You know, it helps with logic, it helps with the strategic thinking. And when I was, you know, like so they definitely helped me with strategic kind of analysis of decision making and so forth. And it's one of those things that if you don't know how to play, you can't just pick it up over, you know, and the concepts. I think that's almost like a superpower to have both. Both chess and poker. It's kind of like a superpower to be able to have both in your arsenal. Um, yeah, so
yeah,
I'm a
I'd
fan.
agree with that. Yeah, it's and there are a few reasons why I wanted to do chess at the same time as I interview real estate people.
Yeah,
Ooh, now that's pinned. Neat. Okay. So if I, so maybe is that what it should be? Yeah, let's try that. Oh, actually, oh, I can just do that. Yeah, that's probably better. Oh, but then I can't do that. Hmm.
do
Yeah,
you
this
play
is
poker?
hairy.
Let me distract you here. Do you play poker?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do on online.
Okay.
My biggest thing is that I don't want my friends' money, and I
Yeah,
also
yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to give my money to my friends.
Yeah, yeah.
So, so I'll always play for fake internet points, as I like to
Okay.
say.
Is there any casinos like live games? Sometimes I go not because of the money, but because of I think so like I'll speak to poker, for example. So I think both are great exercises for practicing decision making, and I think poker specifically is a fantastic um, decision making model for practicing uncertainty. And I think that you know I look at every situation as kind of like a probabilistic outcome, right? There's kind of a we live in a non-deterministic world, right? So basically everything is it's not black or white, right? So there's kind of like a gradient and you know, for example, in real estate or any decision making. Actually, chess is a little bit more predictable because you can see both sides. You can see what your opponent is doing, etc. It's an open book sort of. But in life, right, everywhere, even if something is a very obvious decision, it's still not 100%. Even the sun, it's like 99.9% is going to come up, right? But it's not 100. Like it's, you know, one day won't come up, right? But for the most, you know, that you can put your money on, right? And so given that, you have to be comfortable with kind of expected value and making optimal decisions in uncertainty. And so I find that I think most people are extremely uncomfortable with that and they're very bad at it. And so because they don't have a playground to practice. And so I find that even, you know, $20, $100, right, to practice making decision making under uncertainty. So you're basically making calculated bets. Like if you play poker and you have like, you know, there's pot odds and blah blah blah, and so you're putting a bet and you don't know if the other person is gonna, he's gonna bluff, if he's going to whatever, right? So you just don't know what the outcome is gonna be. Um, and but you have to be able to make those decisions, right? And so I think poker is a fantastic place to practice that.
Right,
And
right, right.
and so I
It
think
really
yeah,
comes out in chess too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
And no, no, yeah, yeah, 100%. And chess also, right? I mean, you know, I think when you get to a certain level, I'm not you're not really hoping for your opponent to make mistakes. you're looking to play an optimal game
Hmm.
and kind of outmaneuver, whereas, but yeah, so for that reason, I like to play poker not um not to make money necessarily, even though that's nice, but as a place to practice
Hmm.
making
Hmm.
decisions under uncertainty.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And that brings into why I decided to do this show. It's one of the biggest reasons is because I knew that if I were to if I were to become a passive investor, like I'm young
Yeah.
enough where it makes way more sense for me to be active,
Right.
because like you get the disproportionately high amount of the of the equity advantages
Right.
as an active GP. But if I were to invest passively, I'd kind of want somebody who could beat me at chess.
Yeah.
Right?
Love
And
it. Yeah. It's
that's part
funny.
of it. But the bigger
There's a
ones,
lot riding
like
on
one
this.
is
There's
that.
a lot of riding on this.
Right, right, and
Yeah.
there really is. But there's also more to it as well. Like one example is how it's to see how people react to adversity,
Yeah.
and the best example of that is like do they just basically like give up real easy and say, okay, I'm just not going to bother, like I'm in a losing position or something like that,
Sure.
like what exactly am I going to do? But if they stick with it, like that says a lot,
Right.
right?
Yep. Yep.
um,
Yeah, no, I mean resilient. I mean, yeah, I think just in general, I think what you're doing is great. Like you're finding intelligent, like-minded. I just give myself a compliment, but like-minded people that do interesting things. Investing, chess, etc. So and it's a niche. Not a lot of people are doing it. I think that's
hmm
how we found each other. And yeah, I think for sure there's I think there's value in that. In general, I think if you create like a wide enough funnel for um of ideas and people, right? You're gonna come across not everything is gonna be not every business deal, not every person, not every idea is gonna be good, but if you have a wide enough funnel, you're going to come across and you have to have a strong filter, right? So you have to basically be able to process and understand. But in general, I think it's good to expose yourself to a lot of ideas and a lot of people that are doing interesting things. So I think what
hmm
you do is great. This is fantastic, and it's like a mental. It's like this is like like there's like chess boxing. So this is kind of like
yep.
talking hopefully intelligently while playing chess at the same time. It's kind of it's good. It's a good
Right, right,
exercise.
and it's an amazing time these days to be alive because there was never the ability to have like this level of access to grandmasters and whatnot.
Yeah.
And actually, that was one of the people I can definitely credit this idea to is Hikaru Nakamura. He's ranked number two in the world right now, and and the thing about him is he'll sit there and stream while he's talking to chat at the same time, right? And
Right.
so he'll be like, oh, okay, so I think I'm going to move the bishop over here. Oh, what am I eating? Oh, it's tuna salad from Trader Joe's. That's the it's just like just like the most random thing. Oh, who would I like to play chess against out of the American presidents? Oh, that's
Yeah.
an interesting question. Just like totally random stuff, and it shows that like the multitasking is absolutely possible.
Right.
It's yeah. So that was part of what was going on. The other thing too is that I found that especially like youngsters in this sector, they frequently have what I'd call a loose relationship with the truth.
Yeah.
And they're fully aware that they can just go ahead and rent a Lambo and an Airbnb, a luxury Airbnb for the day, do a photo shoot,
Yep.
and it's like, oh, this 2 years ago, I was just finishing high school, but now, oh,
Right.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's
So,
yeah, I don't know if it's delusion or I mean, there's a kind of like the where things are headed, Instagram world and just in general kind of I think yeah, I mean like people's sense of purpose and meaning and kind of like what matters, what doesn't matter, perception of what matters versus reality. Like, I was just in Florida and there is like, there's like so many Bentleys that I saw like on the, and so it goes from like Palm Beach to like Miami. And like, so I think that like, when you go Palm Beach and Boca, it's like all like real old money. And then you get closer to Miami and you have like the same cars, but now there's a lot of like fake and, kind of, um, pretend money sort of.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, so it's interesting for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, for sure it's um so
Yeah, it's tough to see through. It's of course, like part of the part that makes me laugh is like, it's, oh yeah, self-made, so successful, all that kind of stuff. It's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
you know that when you get, like a big salary, that there's a thing called income tax,
Right.
and
Yeah, yeah.
and you're basically looking at half, right?
Right. Right,
So,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. One second. I'm gonna interesting this is interesting spot here.
yeah, it
But
is.
what's your like investment philosophy? Like I do, so like my investment philosophy is kind of I've built up a pretty solid amount of cash flow from 220 apartments, so we kind of built it organically over the last 10 years. We started out with vacation rentals, and so now we have like 20 assets generating, substantially exceed our monthly spend for cash flow and kind of built up like a comfortable net worth. And so now I created a kind of a mission for myself to create kind of a bigger business so that I can give more, basically, right? So I'd like to donate to causes that I care about one day, maybe like $100 million if I can achieve those kinds of numbers. And so, in order to pursue that, right? So it's the end goal is not a yacht or a private island, right? It's kind of to contribute to society, to community, and kind of to feel good about it. But if it's part of that, I'm driving a nice car, living in a nice house, like that's part of my efforts, and that's okay. But that's not the goal that I perceive as gonna that I'm chasing or that I think is gonna give me happiness, right? And
Hmm.
so now I've kind of built up this business, and so now I'm I'm exploring kind of, commercial and development and really try, so casting a wide net around people and ideas and so that's kind of like my current stage is kind of I'm still doing the multifamily stuff. Like I buy anywhere from like, you know, 15 or 20 unit to like 50 unit, 60 unit apartment buildings if I can. And then because if you go bigger, you're kind of competing with institutional capital and it kind of changes the game a lot. Um,
Hmm.
but so yeah, so that's kind of been uh
Yeah, your whole thing. Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of been my
Okay.
focus. Um
So. Yeah. So yeah, the answer to your question is it's a little bit complicated. One of the biggest things is that I found that like at first I was doing real estate and that was something that like the opportunity for my family in the future was something that was really exciting
yeah,
for me, but honestly I found out fairly quickly that it's not that I do podcasting because I love real estate. It's I do
yeah.
real estate because I love podcasting. It's the idea of being able to meet all sorts of
Oh,
interesting
interesting.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been way bigger for me, I've found, than anything else really. And so far, like part of my problem though is that I also am highly deal sponsor dependent. So
Okay.
like coming from tech, like I found I had to find a deal sponsor who needed basically my type of help,
Yeah.
and so that's what I basically looked for right from the beginning. So, and of course, I really shouldn't have done my opening as quickly as I did. It's there's not a whole lot of ways to get out of this, but I think I do have to do what I definitely don't want to do. But I guess that's life. So, yeah. So yeah, being sponsor dependent, like that was the main thing. It's just finding other people who want to have somebody with a CRM background, that sort of tech background.
Yep.
I also have always I've worked with enough small companies that I find that usually I tend to be the person who fills whatever skill gap is there.
Yep.
Okay, so that should be this one then. So yeah, that's so because of that, I ended up getting further into marketing and copywriting, just content creation in general, and it's pretty crazy as a whole to have ended up in this situation. Okay, so you're gonna try and scoop up that pawn right there. Let's let's try this though. But yeah, that's basically the long and short of it. Is let's see here.
All right. So,
Yeah, I think I see how this is not going to go the way I want it to. I think I might have a way to weasel out of some of it. But yeah, and that's the other thing too is like you were talking about AI, and like I've seen so many people that their whole way of thinking is ooh, okay, so I can do that. How's that going to be? Hmm.
how
Hmm.
many
I'm
how
not
many
sure.
uh how many of these have you done?
This will be
Quite a
the
lot.
53rd.
Wow. So
Yeah,
I'm
and it's
sure
going to
if you go
be
back to like
it's
your first games, you probably improved a good amount.
Uh,
That's true.
actually, I have,
Yeah.
and it's mostly like that's the thing. Like I know in the middle game, like ending up down that piece that was really that was not very well done for me. If I oh actually I can do this, which is pretty crazy.
Uh,
Okay, so then it's the same thing all over again, isn't it? Well, actually, I'll take my chances without a queen.
yeah. All right. So
But
you're doing that. Got it.
yeah. Yeah, but
Um,
yeah, I was a GP for a spell in 88 units in Texas, and I found that I did really enjoy the asset management piece of it. It just because like I feel like it's something that's very meaningful. It's like if your place isn't like a complete dump because you're actually using your capex wisely, I
right.
feel like you're doing something really good for your neighborhood, your whatever.
Right. All right.
But and like but that's also the sort of thing that I think a lot of people will actually lie about, which is a little bit disappointing.
As far as what? As far
Uh,
as the intentions of doing the project,
yeah, like
or
I'm saying that like people like to say it's like, oh, I want to make a difference in people's lives,
oh, for
and
sure.
then
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day,
it's not
everybody's trying
really
to, yeah. I mean, people, it's part of the marketing. Now, I think it's a balance. You want to have a viable business. You want to contribute what you feel good about. But with that said, you also have to run an efficient business. So you can't overinvest in an asset and make it like, right, if you're not, so you want to do well while also being ethical. And so hopefully there's kind of like a net positive. Like what my
right,
philosophy
right.
kind of like, do well, but you certainly, you know, you don't want to get like shot, right? So you want to make sure
Yeah,
that if you're going into war zones, make sure that So I try to avoid that, right? But the risk reward has to be aligned, basically. And
yeah. And it's pretty
yeah,
wild the personalities that get attracted to multifamily as well. And like I'm a big fan of collecting stories that don't go anywhere in the direction that you expect that they're going to.
yeah, yeah,
So like when I found out that one friend of mine, he said that he actually uh, he had a partner, business partner that is, who uh, he got mad at having so many residents who didn't pay that he actually showed up armed at the
huh,
property, which is like it's funny. It's not funny, ha ha,
yeah.
but it's funny as far as like the entire situation is insane. Um,
Yeah, that's an
and
interesting. Yeah, I mean, where does he probably doesn't live in like he probably doesn't live in a blue state, right? So I live in Massachusetts.
I was
Yeah,
wondering how
yeah,
you're going to phrase it because it's funny.
yeah,
Like clearly you're a very articulate person, and so like you are quite careful when it comes to how you phrase things. And I think that there are a lot of things in this industry that are quite a problem, honestly. Like for example, like I don't like the term landlord friendly and tenant friendly states.
sure. Yeah, yeah,
Blue and red, I think you can call them like that's fairly objective,
sure, sure, sure.
and I don't think that there's like any more judgment in there than there has to be. But the term like landlord friendly and tenant friendly, I really don't think that that's a good way to look at it, just
Right,
because you like it's really a question of like, okay, do you think that you should be able to own the property that you buy? Yes or no?
right.
Because like if you're getting all sorts of regulations uh, with then basically saying it's like, okay, you can get a bank loan, you can buy the property, but it's not your property, it's not yours.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, in that
basically,
sense. Uh,
yeah.
so what do you so in that sense, you're saying that it's a shared with the bank, or you're saying that
I'm
that
saying the
it's
government has all the cards.
I see.
It's now of course I also am aware that like contrary to popular belief,
Yeah,
the people in the government aren't necessarily stupid.
sure.
So they're like they know where their bread is buttered, and the fact is they know that they need that income
Yeah,
from the people who are running the building. So it's not like they're just going to go ahead and foreclose and go ha ha ha, we've got it now. They're also aware that there's bad things that'll come as far as like if there's a foreclosure and all that. The residents,
yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
basically going to lose their vote there. I'm going to go ahead and resign because like I'm not doing anything with my two
yeah,
pawns here.
yeah, yeah. Good
But yeah,
game.
that was really
That's
really
great.
excellent. Exactly. If I do the game review, I see here. I noticed that you don't do much of the AI game review in your stuff, but it says here you played with 85.9 accuracy and I was 80.2, and it says that I was not winning at any point. I made three mistakes, three inaccuracies. You made one miss and two inaccuracies. So there you have
That
it.
was great. That
Some
was
good stuff
fun. That was good. That was a
for
good
sure.
game. That was a challenge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
I love the idea of anybody else in the audience coming out and watching more episodes on chesswithinvestors.com. And as far as social media goes, the best way to reach me is on LinkedIn. That's where we met Mike, and it was from Yona Weiss, the cost seg king,
yep.
who knows everybody on the platform. Is LinkedIn the best way to reach out to you, Mike?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah. Mike Preshman and mpresh@gmail.com. You can reach out directly. Happy to chat. Happy to talk chess, real estate investing, poker, what have you. Yeah, I have a wide range of topics and ideas that I'm interested in. But
Excellent, excellent,
yeah,
excellent. So, and I'm definitely going to want a rematch as well. It's
let's do
I'm
it.
going to
Yeah,
exactly. So we'll have to do that. I want to get more recurring guests on the show. The other thing
sure.
too is that I'm going to start. If I get some people every once in a while who know the game pretty well, and then
Yeah.
other times, I get people that don't know it as well. So one thing I'm going to start doing in 2026 is having some simuls. And the
Okay.
idea is that I'll have two guests at once, and I'll be playing one game against each of them. So I'll have to
Extra.
do the
Yeah, just
best
keep on
to.
building that challenge so it's difficult to kind of, formulate your ideas, and so it's good practice for probably real life where you're distracted, but you still have to still, do stuff, multitasking, etc. It's like a, this is a good kind of like focused tr practice, right? It's kind of, what do they call it? Yeah, like you deliberate practice, right? So you're deliberately practicing thinking outside of your element, which is great. So
Yeah,
this is awesome.
absolutely. Like I'm also 45, so I'm like solidly middle aged, and
Yeah.
so like because of
So
that,
we're
you have to
almost, yeah,
be
just about
aware
the
of.
same age.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. The neuroplasticity is really really important to keep going, and
Yeah.
so that's the other thing that's going through my mind and all that. But anyway, thanks a lot for joining, and I hope to catch you again next time. Make sure
Yeah,
you
this
like
was
and
awesome.
subscribe.
Thank you.
All
Yep.
right, thanks, man. Perfect. Oh, hey there. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you are into chess, if you play chess and you're an investor of some sort, real estate or otherwise, well, you can be on the show too. I know, right? All you have to do is connect with me on LinkedIn. My name's Dan Fradenburgh, so I'm super duper easy to find on LinkedIn where I spend most of my social media time. But if you're one of those people who just don't play chess, it's don't pay attention to him. I don't judge. All you have to do is go to dandoesdeals.com and you'll find the Chance Encounter series where you're welcome to be a guest on it, where you can share your core competencies that you're likely to contribute to a GP team or a JV. You don't have to be doing syndications. And we'll talk about your buy boxing and stuff like that. It's easy peasy. It's like 15 minutes long to record, and there are no real fastball questions. Just tell the truth, and everybody will be fine. And if that's not really your thing, dandoesdeals.com. It also has the way to meet more, join more people, add more people to your investor list, your different deal sponsor operators and KPs and passive investors, all that kind of stuff. I'm probably repeating myself, but I'll give you the rest of your day. I appreciate you watching Chess with Investors. See you next time. Bye.
My background has been in alternative investments for the past 20 years. I've seen just about every type of fund, worked on the accounting and operations side, and even at some of these big banks that I worked for, worked on a lot of projects behind the scenes to really hone my craft and, create Cardinal Financial Consulting and help people set up the right structures, handle the accounting and operations behind the scenes, and really take that away from the CEO's responsibility to make their lives streamlined. Sorry.